Hello ID students, it's Maureen Curry and I'm making a little video here to give you a tour of Module 2 today. So Module 2 will be week 2 of the course and we're going to be in ancient Rome. So we'll click on some of those pages in the module. I'll learn about how the ancient Romans absorbed a mixture of cultures, how they were able to captivate the minds and commitment of people from not only Italy, but North Africa, all of Western Europe, east to Asia. One of the reasons the Romans were so successful that they had the ability to build structures. They had the arch, the rounded arch. Remember, the Greeks were just post and lintel, so their buildings were very sort of limited because they had all those columns with the flat roofs. But with the arch, and they could have these rounded roofs, and they wouldn't need the support of all those columns. They would use the walls instead. They had a very strong mixture formula for concrete, which even to this day we don't know what it is. So this allowed them to build aqueducts, bridges, gateways, roads. Just many services, arenas, amphitheaters, coliseums. So the people that they conquered were so pleased with all these amenities that they brought into the empire and were proud to be Roman citizens. So in Module 2, which is week 2, I'm going to stop this. I want to remind you to go to the left menu when you log into Canvas with your normal student ID number and your password, and then you get into the Canvas course, the ID 122, and you have the home page, the announcements. You might want to check that for the week, the syllabus, which we looked at earlier, but you go to the modules, and that will bring you to the weekly reading. So I was in the first page of Module 2, where Rome assimilates a mixture of cultures. And then we'll look at that there's a PowerPoint here and the different Roman architecture, each page. So I highly recommend you read each page. Let's look at this one here. You'll see that Roman architecture. They also had the temple architecture, but then as they advanced along and they were able to stack different stones in a circular, semicircular roof type shape, and they added concrete, which was very strong. They moved to these vaulted spaces, so that changed the kind of buildings that they were able to make. So this is Module 2, week 2. You'll see how important concrete was, particularly this is in the Pantheon in Rome. You can see how they used concrete to make the huge dome-covered space that covered the opening for Pantheon was a temple to all the Roman gods. So it was a massive space with a corbelled ceiling, marble floors, still use of columns to support, particularly the porch was very traditional classical Greece. But this vaulted space that they were able to design and build transformed all of architecture forever. We're still using those same basic concepts. All the different materials they use are discussed here, mentioned before, the Roman concrete. And here, as they worked at having the true arch, but then they gradually were able to widen it and stack the stones in sort of a step fashion, which gave them more strength. So you'll be looking at some of these different ancient Roman forms, portals, aqueduct systems, palaces, Colosseum, and you'll be thinking about how the Romans built the architecture and the purposes. What were the purposes of the buildings that they created? Here's the marketplace where they could have shops down below. People could come and shop. So as you go through each page, remember to click Next, and it'll bring you to the next reading topic in Canvas. There will be some videos reinforcing about the arch and the vaulting system to get those rounded ceilings, those high rounded ceilings that the Romans were able to build and complete. There's some videos to watch. Also, I would like you to be sure to understand the typical Roman house. We have found ruins in Pompeii that tells you all about the well, this is the Roman, the next page is Roman public buildings, which I said before are still temples, but then there were other methods of designing buildings that came up with adding more and more columns of concrete to make these inner walls solid. They could even make a rectangular space, but they didn't have to have a lot of columns inside. It was temple to walk inside and see all the way through into the cella, where the room that's called the cella is where the cult statue of the god was. The different columns that were used. So be sure to get through every page of the module. Watch the videos, and you'll have a good solid background on Roman engineering and Roman architecture. Always click next to get to the next page. And this is a Roman house called a domus. Domicile, you've heard that term, I think. And there's a model, a reconstruction of how the Roman house was built. Usually they were right on the street. The man of the house would do business in the front rooms of the house, and going into the atrium area. There's open space and atrium in the entrance here. I'm sorry, over here, entrance here, and then there'd be a place for rainwater to be captured from here. And then you go into the back of the house, there'd be a kitchen, sleeping quarters, and the open courtyard surrounded by a peristyle. Peristyle is like a courtyard that's supported by columns all around the edges. So I think these are some of the things you should look forward to learning about, sort of picturing, some of them are reproductions, what the Roman house, the interior looked like, the layout, how they decorated the walls, how they got their water, and the rainwater came into the effluviums, sort of a pool in that front entranceway, and then how the walls were decorated. If any of you are thinking of going to the Getty Villa, the Getty Villa is a reproduction of a Pompeian villa from ancient Rome. So just the architecture itself could be a report. Or if you want to go into the interior, the galleries, and look around at some of the artifacts that reflect what life was like for the ancient Romans. So it's a good topic. So I wish you much success with week 2. I think you'll find it very interesting and fun. Be sure to check on the discussion board assignments and log in by Thursday midnight and submit your initial prompt to the discussion board, and then by Saturday midnight respond to 2 other classmates, and also be sure to do the written assignment. So good luck for week 2, and I'm looking forward to reading your discussion input and your written assignments. All the best. Take care. Until my next video. Bye-bye.